Welcome to Soltron. This is the video review for LDCX Supertrain robot Pegasus and Wolf. Here's how they scale with Towbot and Transformers. Let's start with my favorite of the two, Pegasus. So he's got a really interesting head sculpt. Kind of looks like a cloth mask, but he's got a knight motif. So you can see by his codpiece here is kind of a shield, and then his fists are armored fists. It's like a knight's armor. And then he's got these armored shins and armored feet. And then he's also got lasers. So he's got laser knee pads and then these accessory weapons that go behind his legs. And then he's also got these really cool gold wings that he wears behind him. So that's a really good look, and the paint is really great on these wings. So he's got a pretty cool look. And you can see this is his accessory pack. So here's the wings, and then down here is the extra leg pieces, which you need to peg in to help stabilize him because he's got tiny heels. If you don't have these in, the wings are just too heavy and make him fall over. But he's got a pretty streamlined look. It would have been nice if his accessory train also came with a weapon, like a sword, maybe a sword and shield, something to really pull off that knight look. But I really like the way this robot looks. He's good. So, like all the other guys, his head doesn't move, waist doesn't move, hips are pretty much locked. You can't really kick them forward. He does have one click of outward motion, but it just doesn't look natural if you don't have it outward. So his legs don't really have any articulation. And then he does have foot pivots, but they're very minor and they're not very useful because the legs don't articulate anyway. And then he's got like about 90 degrees of articulation on the knee, but only backward, so that's not very useful. And the hips don't kick forward or backward at all. And then the shoulders, where all the real articulation is, you get 360 on the shoulder, you get a good amount of outward, it's almost 90 degrees there, you get more than 90 degree bend in the elbow. And then you get a bicep swivel 360, and then this little fist can pivot for transformation. So pretty basic articulation except for in the arms. Everything else is not articulated pretty much. So that's about it for Pegasus. Unfortunately, his accessories are unique to him. The way that they tab in cannot be tabbed in on any other figure. He has a special backpack for this accessory. So that's a real lost opportunity that you can't give these wings to another figure. And then the legs have a special divot at the top of the train that the other robots don't have for this connection port. So these cannot be shared at all. And he can't hold these in his hands or anything, unfortunately. And then when you take all those off, he's just a regular two-train transformer. Okay, and then here's Wolf's head sculpt. So he's got a pretty interesting head sculpt. I really like the red clear plastic, looks really good on him. And the head looks pretty heroic, also a little savage. And then his unique parts are he's got these fists with these claws that can be retracted. And then he's got this codpiece. And then his shins are also different. And his knee pads are like little blades, so that's really cool. And then he's got paws for feet. Everything else has the same exact parts as Pegasus and all the other LDCX trains. Like the abs are always the same, so are the biceps, forearms. So only a couple different little tweaks. So overall, I definitely prefer Pegasus with his accessories. I think he looks really good, but Wolf looks really good as just a basic figure. I think both of these robots have definitely really great aesthetics. I'd say they're 8s, but I already have a lot of these robots, so I probably won't be keeping them. And I really like the color on this guy too. It really separates him from the other train robots. So transformation of Pegasus's weapons is really easy. You just fold down the connection point. For his leg weapons, you're just going to straighten that out and then fold this down, and then you already have a big chunk of a train. And then these two halves, of course, just clip together. So now you already have most of the accessory train. Now you need to just bring in the wings, fold up these feather tips, and then the wings fold in this way. and then it just slides and connects to the rest of the accessory train. And there's how that looks. And then if you've been on my channel for a while, you've already seen me transform about 10 of these guys, so it's all the same. You just pull out the chest, lower the head, put the fake chest over the head, and then bring in this backpack section, cover it up, tear off the arms, close up these connection points. You can straighten out the feet and the heels. And then you're going to fold down the knee pads, straighten out the legs, fold up the hip skirts and push in the hips. And then just click everything together. And then you just fold up this ab section. Okay, so you have most of the train here, and now you're just going to take the arm sections and just fold those into each other, and then fold up the fists. That pegs into the train section, and then this guy's entirely transformed. One little difference when transforming Wolf is that his fists do pivot up and down, but because of these claws, they can't actually fold up because they're too large. So when you peg it into the train, there's this big gap, and that's basically the fist is just going to go right in there. So his fists don't actually retract. So here's the trains transformed. And of course, they look really good, as all the other trains in the series. They're very accurate, and they have good detailing on them, so they look like realistic trains. And then you have screw holes on one side, which is nice. So that means on the other side, no, you don't have to deal with any screw holes. They look really good from this angle. And then they scale pretty well with deluxe figures. The car, of course, would be a little bit smaller, but it's not a bad scale. They kind of work together. And then finally, like all the other train robots, you get this extra connector. And when you peg that in, you get a piece of articulation, but it also kind of ruins the train look because it's just a huge gap. So definitely, like all the other train bots, definitely a 10 for the alt mode. It's just very clean, awesome looking trains. So if you're really into trains, you can order your set at Sir Toys. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll see you next time.